there's family members in our family that are going through it, and it's like, dude, we need to talk about it, bro. Like, we have to talk about it. I know it's politics and everything, but I feel like we need to educate people. As much as education we have or anything we don't have that might help. Tenemos nuestros amigos de Estrella Market que están ayudando en las ciudades de Southgate y a los alrededores también. Downey, Linwood, Bell Gardens.
Compton.
And I have family members too. Like, what am I going to tell them? No, pues, ¿qué hago? No, I don't even know.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be an excuse, bro. With the internet now, we should be informed now, especially in these states that's going on, bro. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that it takes now this.
You being that guy. Like, that gets me upset, bro.
Yeah.
And I want you to go ahead and everybody, kind of like, just imagine that being your dad, that being your uncle, that being your brother, that being your mom,
Hey, welcome back again to another episode of the Why Podcast. I'm Memo.
I'm Omar.
This is the Why Podcast.
Why, bro?
Why not, man? So,
I wanted to apologize for the last, it seems like I'm having technical issues with YouTube. I know it crashed on us twice. They've been reported, but I think it was a technical difficulty from my end. So I do want to apologize. If you guys are new viewers, please make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. If you're a return viewer, again, I do want to apologize for the last episode that we released. And if you guys did watch it up, we thank you for that. As you guys know, things are difficult right now in LA. Sorry about that.
no, you're good.
It's been very difficult.
Yeah.
I think as some of you guys know, I started my own TikTok and Instagram, and I've been being very unmotivated to post, bro, just because everything that's going on, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's hitting home. I only want to do a little recap of what happened last time, what we talked about, and then what's going on right now. What we talked about last time, the last episode.
Oh, I mean, yeah. So, I was completely no, yeah. So the last episode we kind of talked about the riots, what they were going on, right?
Right.
And I think things have been escalating, and I think detain the I guess ICE.
No. Well, we talked about what was going on here in LA, right?
Yeah, of course.
Not
the
to get
riots.
into specifics, but I'm sure unless you're living on a rock, you guys are aware of what's going on in LA.
Yeah.
And I think things have gotten escalated since then.
But you know what?
Right.
Let's not just make LA the focal point. It's been going around
The whole nation.
Correct.
Right.
We have people in Arizona, and we have living through it as well, right? I think
Texas,
obviously,
something.
yeah, of course. Obviously, we see it more because we're live here, we live here, so we're aware of what's going on, right? But yeah, let's not take that out. But I feel like the nation in general is going through. It's bad, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes, I don't know, bro. I feel like this administration. I was very fond of this administration coming in, bro. And I don't know, bro. I think I wasn't preparing myself for this situation. They talked about how he's gonna take all the criminals and everything, but it's not criminals, bro. It's everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and something I really like to emphasize here in this podcast is there's two things I don't like to talk about. I
Yeah.
know we talk about it very often, but we don't like to talk about politics nor religion. Those are two things that it could get very edgy. And then even on the last podcast, and we've had not conversations over influencers promoting it and stuff like that, which I feel like we're gonna do this. Let's do this right.
Yeah.
Correct. Let's be educated enough. Let's try to be educated enough to know what we're talking about. One, two, not to throw dirt with anybody, but let's make the best out of it.
Yeah, of course.
Just for common knowledge and for people to know what's going on with the rights, right?
Yeah. I think with that being said, Omar, really dig down and kind of I think everybody's been kind of on edge lately, right? I think we've been saying we should do things. So I think you prepared a really good really some really good notes that I think is going to be very beneficial. So anybody out there that's struggling right now and is going through it, I mean, we're not the most biggest podcast, not yet. I feel like, right, but I feel like anything could help out that we might not know, right? Because sometimes we're just uninformed.
Yeah.
in certain situations you think you know but you don't know. You know what I mean? Sometimes we just feel because we're not from here, we have no documents, that we have no rights, and people do have rights here, bro. Sometimes we forget that because all the chaos that's going on, right? And it's just sad that people are living in such fear, bro. And 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 we're going back to the Holocaust, bro.
Yeah.
Like this shit is happening. What happened in Germany, bro? Like that shit. Like it's crazy to compare, dude. But it's. I don't mean, you see all these damn videos, bro. People getting snatched out of their houses, out of any. You were walking around, they just snatch you, bro.
Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like it's just crazy, yeah. And everybody just stands there. Now we're seeing more videos. Imagine back then there was no videos, nothing. It was just people and their diaries that we read of. You know what I mean? But now everybody has recording videos. Like you could just. I mean, I'm not saying try to obstruct that, because you're gonna get fined if you obstruct in any legal detention. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
if you're
of
gonna
course.
stop a detainee, that's aiding an alien, bro. So that could be you could be faced with federal charges. So I think yeah, it's sad that that you're recording, and it's just unfortunate because that's somebody's family member, bro. That's somebody's dad, somebody's mom, somebody's children. Like it's crazy, bro. So I think this notes that Omar gave us, and now we're gonna share with you. I
Yeah, so
think.
so I'm glad you brought that up. And again, I do want to apologize. I want to apologize for a lot of stuff, from my wardrobe to us looking at our phone a lot. Just because we do have notes and we want to go ahead and and kind of share the information with you guys.
Yeah.
And I do want to go ahead and share something with you, Memo. I want you to react. There's something different that I want to try on the podcast. So I want you to react to a video that I'm gonna send you. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and put it here in the middle.
Okay.
It's gonna be a 10-second video. I don't know if you can turn on your phone, or you're supposed to be receiving it. I don't know. So I don't know. You guys are gonna go ahead and see Memo's reaction.
Like, well, that's fucking crazy, dude. Like dogs, bro. Like animals, bro.
So um, like I said, it's not something that. Imagine you have a dad, you have uncles, you have a
Yeah.
brother, you have friends, you have people that you really care about, right? And even me putting myself in that situation, and let's say like you being that guy, like that gets me upset, bro.
Yeah.
And I want you to go ahead and everybody, kind of like just imagine your that being your dad, that being your uncle, that being your brother, that being your mom. And it's very upsetting. And I think that's what triggered me to kind of like not trigger me, but I can see how my reaction, makes me do dumb stuff,
Yeah.
right? Makes me go out there, makes me do,
The reaction. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, makes me go and destroy or whatever the case may be. And it's, there was a point where I'm like, dude, I need to step back and I need to kind of like, it's not okay for me to react like this. It's not
Yeah.
okay for me. Because I could easily go on a rampage and go on social media and be like, everybody needs to stand up. Everybody, you know what I mean? But I know it's not the right thing to do, bro. I know I'm putting harm on myself. I
Yeah.
know I'm putting harm on my family. And sometimes I feel like people need to step back from the situation. As much as it gets you so upset, you need to be level headed. You need to be the bigger person and say, you know what? What can I do to make a difference, right?
Yeah.
Not only for myself, but for my family members. And I do have like a little intro I
Yeah.
wanted to go and introduce. I know.
But I think, before you get into the intro, dude,
Go for
I
it.
think like I think some people are very, they're, how would I say it? Some people cannot relate, although they're Latinos as well, dude, and their parents are maybe like first, second, third generation. You have to understand that we have to understand that one of our family members had to sacrifice to be here. You know what I mean?
Of course.
One of them had to sacrifice for us to be living here. And although sometimes maybe, yeah, like maybe our family members already have papers and they already fixed everything like that, but they all had to come here and sacrifice something, like, coming here in this country illegally, and put in their part in this economy to make it great. sometimes we lose sight of that because it's been so far back in our I guess in our family tree that we forget. And sometimes we don't want to speak on it because you feel like it is you cannot relate. You know what I mean? I think we need to step back a little bit and really think. Because like Omar just said, like that person is probably his first generation. He's coming in to begin his family. There's something that your grandparents did, that your mom did, that your uncles did, to make you have a better life here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, obviously, if you want to come here and do your if you want to come here and do criminal activity and stuff like that, well, you know what? That's not good either, bro. And sometimes it's not gonna fly here. You know what I
Of
mean?
course, of course.
So I think just for the people that are here, like hardworking, bro, and just minding their own business, going to day by day. I'm only saying this because there was a post of a gentleman saying how obviously Raza, and he commented on someone's social media saying, "Dude, like these people deserve that," because basically saying they're all criminals, bro. And it's
Of
like,
course.
like kind of like not being educated enough and out just basically outbursting whatever he thought was going on, right? And he's like, you know what? I don't join those riots because they're dumb. I mean, I haven't joined riots as well, but I just feel like there's peace protests to like get your point across. You know what I mean? The whole point is this gentleman was saying that he can relate, that that's what they get for doing all that. And keep in mind, he's Latino too, dude. So he was a barber. He's a barber, dude, and he was basically he forgot who his clientele was, bro.
Yeah.
The whole point is he got, I guess, canceled, bro. His shit went, his whole barbershop went to shit, dude, because of the outcome of where he stands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and let's not like I said, let's not forget. And we're not doing these episodes because I mean, we're talking about it because it's hitting home, bro. And I
Right.
feel like I'm not saying they have a lot of views, but even if any little views we have, bro, I feel like we need to talk about it, bro. Like
Yeah,
I
of
feel like
course.
there's family members in our family that are going through it, and it's like, dude, we need to talk about it, bro. Like we have to talk about it. I know it's politics and everything, but I feel like we need to educate people. As much as education we have or anything we don't have that might help, we should go ahead and hand it to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a big problem that we have now, where like, you know, sometimes we feel, because we feel a certain way, we feel like it's okay for to say it out loud,
Yeah.
and not knowing that that can be, an ignorant comment. I mean, like I said, I always talked about respecting each other's opinion, right? But if you're gonna say something that bad, like, dude, just keep it to yourself.
No, or that because not even that. There's consequences to things,
Yeah, of
bro.
course,
You know
of
what I mean?
course.
Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you could speak it. I mean, everybody has a free speech, whatever it is, but just keep in mind that some of the people that either follow you or your clientele might be
Well,
affected by the
and
situation.
that's
You know
why,
what I
and
mean?
that's where I was going. I mean, when you know you're going against the people, it's kind of like, don't try to be victimized by a situation you created.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that, oh, this is gonna trigger people, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, and then, like the gentleman that you said, like, now your barbershop's like down the drain because nobody wants to go ahead and
And
kind of like I could see how a lot of people's like, dude, if you have that type of character, like, why am I going to support your business?
yeah,
And I can see that. I can see how people could think like that, but like, don't expect not to get a reaction for something that you did.
yeah,
I feel like you really got to think about things you do, you say, before you put it out there on the internet. And the one thing I've learned is that once it's in the internet, it's there forever, regardless of how many times you try to erase it. I know you wanted to say something. Sorry, before I do the intro.
no, no, go get the intro.
Okay,
Yeah, I was just
so I
thinking
do
about that.
wanted to go ahead, and then this is based on research and deep research that I did with through the internet.
Yeah,
So before we get into further information on this episode, I do want to go ahead and make everybody aware that I am not a lawyer. Memo's not a lawyer. We are not giving legal advice. This is just basic knowledge that we should be aware of each other. Um, and of course, we're gonna go ahead and offer um,
help.
helplines and I'm gonna go ahead and put on the link
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
so you guys can go ahead and reach out. And again, we're not lawyers. We're not trying to give
Legal
legal
advice.
advice. This is just something that people should be aware of. And I think we're gonna go and start off with knowing your rights.
Yeah.
Correct. So I'm gonna go ahead and have you do the first one,
Okay.
and then we'll go ahead and
Sounds good. So we're gonna start off like Omar said. We're gonna do know your rights. So we're just gonna, okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the first one, right? So basically, know your rights, right? So we're gonna go ahead and remain silent. You don't have to answer any questions. Remember that about your immigration status, your birthplace, or how you entered this country. So just keep that in mind. If they stop you, you have to answer. You have rights to not answer any questions. Just stay silent.
and I think that's something that it can be. I honestly think that's the hardest thing to do, and this is why I say that. When you have authority coming down on you, whether it's your local police department or the federal agent, their demeanor is it's so it can be so overwhelming that you find you have some type of fear where like, hey, are you a U.S. citizen? And you're like, no, I'm not, and that's something that people can easily give in,
Of course,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think you have to be strong mentally to the point where like, hey, are you a U.S. citizen? I'm not gonna ask you again. And it's kind of like you need to be very strong. You need to be level-headed, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest thing anybody could do. Another right that I think you should know, you should be aware is, if you're home, do not open your door. If they come and they knock and they say, hey, we need to go ahead and ask you some questions, do not open your door unless there's a warrant that's signed by a judge. Not just a warrant, because they can easily give you a warrant without being signed by a judge. Again, guys, we have the internet. You guys have access to what a warrant looks like. There's millions of copies on the internet, on images, on Google. Look what a warrant looks like, and then you can open the door. But regardless, do not open the door.
So the third right you should know is always ask for a lawyer, right? You have the right to speak to a lawyer before signing or saying anything. ICE does not have to give you one, but you have to get one on your own, right? Just get them and ask, hey, you know what? I need to speak to a lawyer.
Yeah.
I need my lawyer present, and that's that. You guys gotta understand that you guys have rights here. We have rights here, bro. Even though you're undocumented, you have rights. So, manténgase en silencio. No le abran la puerta a ningún ICE y también, pues pregunten por un abogado.
Yeah. The next one is once you guys, obviously, if you don't answer questions, they're gonna go ahead and book you. You're gonna get detained, and they're gonna go ahead and process you. Under no circumstance should you guys sign any type of document without a lawyer or without legal counsel. The reason why I say that is because there's been reported, and I can see how this can happen, where they provide you with paperwork for self-deportation.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And again, the authority that they have above you can be really overwhelming to the point where you're like, okay, I just want to be in good terms with them, so I'll just sign. And next thing you know,
You're self-deporting yourself.
you're self-deporting yourself. So make sure you guys read the document too. Read the document. If you guys don't understand, please have somebody to translate for you. Again, your lawyer or legal counsel, they should be able to go ahead and help you out with that.
Another one we have is record and document. If it's safe to record, please make sure you record the encounter, right? And if you can, try to memorize or write down the badges of the agents that are, I guess, trying to detain you. This will also help in court, right? Because, like I said, if you're getting questioned by ICE, and from what it looks like, bro, they're basically it's a free for all out there, bro. They're not asking any questions, just grabbing you. If you look stereotypical, bro, they're gonna bring you in, and that's insane, bro. That you have to look a certain way to get picked up.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, to be honest.
Yes, it is, and it goes back to what I was saying. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it's the authority they have over us. You know, it's very easy for you to feel overwhelmed and say, oh, you know what, oh shoot, they got me now. I gotta like remember, guys. Even if they one of the other laws, you know, that you guys have your rights. I'm sorry. One of the other rights that you have is, you know, under California, you don't have any. You don't have. They don't have the right to request for your ID unless you're driving or there's a warrant. Unless you're driving, they have a right to ask for your ID. If you're just walking or you're minding your own business, they don't have any. How do you say it? They don't have any right to ask for your ID or demand your ID. So that's another one. And I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up because I know this is 45 minutes here. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I know under the link before, I am gonna go ahead and be putting the ACLU. There's 3 organizations that offer legal aid. They offer, you know, lawyers. They offer legal advice. Some of these are nonprofit organizations. They're under CHIRLA, CHIRLA. Another one's a CLU, ACLU, Southern California. And then the third one, it's RAICES, that's RAICES, Nationwide Immigration Aid. We're going to go ahead and put the link on the bio. Make sure if you guys have families or regardless of the situation, make sure you guys go ahead and send them the link and they should be able to go ahead and get assistance with the aid.
And we're also, we're also going to be giving out, I'm going to try to make some research and we're going to hand out a couple of websites where you can find your significant other. So we've had a story here that touched home that one of the members was detained at his job site. And what's going on here, I think, what needs to be kind of broadcast is that if you're getting detained here in LA, they're moving you to Texas
or different parts around the
location, right? So in this instance, this family, they already lawyered up and everything to fight the case, and because the detainee went to Texas, the lawyer had to drop the case because she was only focusing on California detainees. Right, so you guys gotta make sure, like I said, we're gonna share a couple of websites where you can kind of not track, but maybe when they get booked, you could look up their name and see exactly where they're at, right? So
yeah, and then I mean, one thing is knowing your rights, right? And like you guys might be asking yourself, like, how do you put this rights that we have to work, right? And I know I kind of gave some examples. We wrote examples for you guys to go ahead and kind of see if you guys find yourself in a situation. The first example, you want to go to?
But now I was thinking right now that we're talking in English, güey, and si también en español, ¿cómo chingamos entender esta madre, güey? O estamos hablando de la gente que
yeah.
Obviamente, pues, maybe if you guys have like a family member, I'm hoping that you guys are seeing this and
educate your family.
Educate your family. Like, have a plan, right? Because sometimes they don't know anything. I mean, it's not that they don't know anything. They don't know the rights they have when you come into this country, because you have rights just by stepping in this soil. But yeah, you want to real quick in Spanish or?
Yeah.
So, el primer derecho que tienen ustedes es manténgase en silencio. El segundo es, nunca abran la puerta. Tercero es, pregunten por un abogado. El cuarto,
no firme nada. No firme ningún papel sin un abogado presente ahí con usted. Y el abogado tiene que ayudarle a que él le tiene que explicar todo lo que dice en el papel.
El tercero es, si tienen que documentar, documenten todo, graben todo. Grábense los números de los badges de los oficiales, todo eso, pues, si pueden mantener y grabar. Recuerden también que no es un requisito que te pidan un ID si estás caminando una bicicleta. Si estás manejando, a lo mejor y sí, pero tienen que tener una causa en por qué te están parando y así.
Sí,
en español, para que toda la gente, si no entienden inglés, estamos diciendo en español. And you guys, make sure you guys share this video as well for anybody out there that's struggling and not knowing what to do, because I didn't know what to do, bro.
Yeah.
And I have family members too. Like, what am I going to tell them? No, pues, ¿qué hago? No, I don't even know.
Yeah.
that shouldn't be an excuse, bro. With the internet now, we should be informed now, especially in these days that's going on, bro. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that it takes now this huge thing to happen for us to try to get informed.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So
And like Omar said, he did create a couple of scenarios of what has been happening and what might happen. You know what I mean? So in order for you to avoid and be like prepared, I've been telling Omar it's hard, bro, because people need to work, bro, and it seems like they're everywhere, bro.
yeah,
And he's telling me, oh, stay home. Yeah, okay, stay home. ¿Qué me va a dar de comer?
yeah,
Ya hay mucha gente que está ayudando, mucha gente de muchas markets that are helping out, bro. Mucha gente que está llevando comida a los domicilios. No tienes que decirles que tu estado de migración, no. Si te están pidiendo tu estado migratorio, no les contestes. Nadie te tiene que estar preguntando esas cosas. Pero si quieren ayudarte, nomás dile, ¿sabes qué? Ocupo ayuda, me pueden traer aquí de comer, con mucho gusto.
yeah.
Tenemos a nuestros amigos de Estrella Market que están ayudando en la ciudad de Southgate y a los alrededores también. Downey, Linwood, Bell
Compton.
Gardens,
Compton
as well, que están ayudando a las familias necesitadas. Por favor, si ocupan algo que ayuda, nos mandan mensajes a nosotros también DM o con el Estrella Market que están haciendo también publicaciones en que están ayudando a la gente para que tengan algo de comer.
Sí, claro. Y ahorita que estamos hablando de las como de huelgas, ¿no? Huelgas donde la gente están allá afuera protestando. Si no tiene que uno protestar. Aquí tenemos el teléfono. Hay grupos en Facebook del área donde usted vive, East LA, Boyle Heights, Downey, donde están comentando cada rato, están aquí en esta área, están aquí, ocupan comida, y ahí entre la comunidad, ahí se pueden ayudar.
Sí.
So vayan al Facebook y traten de contribuir a la comunidad y al grupo ahí para ayudarse entre uno. Pero I do want to talk about the scenario.
Yeah.
So scenario number, so let's say you're home, you're chilling, right? And your ice,
Yeah.
right? And you come down and
So I come in, I knock on the door, and then I'm like, hey, we need to come inside and talk.
say, I don't consent to a search unless you have a warrant. If you have a warrant, please go ahead and slide it under the door and make sure it's signed by a judge.
Omar, but how are you gonna know what's in by a judge?
That's what I'm saying. You guys can look it up online. You guys can look up what a warrant looks like online. There's millions of pictures of where a warrant looks like, because they could easily give you warrants.
Yeah, of
But
course.
if it's not signed by a judge, it's not valid.
And they do that to get you, bro.
They do that to get you, of course.
So we got a second scenario, right? Let's say you're walking and I stops you on the street or at work. And ICE comes and tells you, hey, what's your immigration status?
All you gotta say is that I choose to refrain silent and would like to speak to a lawyer. That's it.
I choose to remain silent and I would like to speak to my lawyer.
That's it. Así.
Y a lo mejor todavía te llevan.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tienen que entender que si te llevan está bien. No te van a llevar de volada y te van a sacar. Te van a meter a una
Te van a procesar.
te van a procesar. Si tú te mantienes callado, ellos te van a querer hacer que firmes cosas para que te deporten, pero no tomes esa decisión. Diles tú, hey, yo quiero hablar con un juez. Yo quiero hablar con un juez. Así nomás manténgate. No, ellos te van a decir hasta que no, te van a decir hasta que te van a decir que te van a quitar tus hijos, te van a decir que te van a meter el bote por 10 años. No pueden hacer eso.
No.
Entonces, manténganse calmados y nomás digan que quiero hablar con un juez y te van a, pues decir, es que te van a dejar libre.
Ok, y si viene y te pregunta, ¿dónde naciste tú?
No, pues, no quiero decir eso. Yo quiero, me quiero mantener silencio y no quiero decir dónde nací.
O puede decir, no tengo que contestar eso y me puedo ir.
Pero es que estamos diciendo esto, pero sí, la neta, a veces nomás te agarran y te levantan y te llevan. Y fíjate, ¿Han visto videos que nomás te levantan y te preguntan, te levantan y te llevan?
Sí, sí, tienes mucha razón ahí, güey, pero
Entonces,
el escenario aquí es para decir, hay que decir,
si es que te
si es que
preguntan.
la pregunta es muy fácil para uno decir, no, pues nací en México,
Eh,
por el miedo que tiene uno. O te dicen, a ver, firma aquí, ¿qué hace decir?
no, pues no quiero firmar y quiero hablar con un juez. No voy a firmar y quiero hablar con un juez o
Abogado,
un abogado.
un abogado.
Y no firme nada, no te pueden forzar a firmar nada. Y sí, a lo mejor estamos diciendo, estos cabrones piensan que está fácil. No, no está fácil. Pero estamos hablando si te preguntan, porque aquí, como te le digo, muchos videos no están preguntando, más están están levantando a la gente y se los llevan, viejo.
Ujú.
Pero obviamente en el proceso te van a estar preguntando cosas. No te van a decir que te quedes callado todo el vez. Cuando ya te procesan adentro, te van a decir hasta lo que no, hasta que firmes. Te van a meter presión para que firme uno, pero no firme nada uno. Manténganse callados y pidan un juez, un abogado. Y les quiero decir otra vez que nosotros no somos abogados. No estamos dando información que encontramos en internet. No tome esto como un aviso legal para que ustedes que vayan, hey, señor, los babosos aquellos del White Post que nos dijeron que dijera eso. No, 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 no.
No.
Nomás es información que agarramos nosotros del internet y que estamos compartiendo con ustedes. Así de fácil. Nomás porque mucha gente no tiene, bueno, no sé si la capacidad, pero no tiene, no están informados muy bien en qué derechos tiene uno estar viviendo aquí. ¿Me explico?
Un scenario que he mirado mucho por internet, a scenario that I've seen a lot in the internet, actually, that's probably the only thing that I've seen in the last couple of days,
Yeah.
is if you witness somebody being detained, what do you do? Number one,
Oh, go ahead.
I need you to stay calm. Okay? I need you to stay calm because, like I said, your emotion can get on the way. You can do something dumb that can later affect you. Stay calm. You see it happening, stay calm. Don't over panic. Don't do anything.
Es que, look, Omar, como dice el Omar, sí, calmado, pero a veces no se puede uno calmar, viejo, because you see that shit, it's like, dude, that's not okay, bro. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you want to barge in, you want to do this, pero sí está cabrón. Está cabrón mantenerse uno calmado, callado. Está bien cabrón porque we haven't been in that situation, fool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Pero como les digo, ya hemos visto muchos videos. Me imagino que ustedes también. You guys have seen a lot of videos, dude, of all this shit happening. So if you can stay calm and collective in the best way, it's for your own good in the long run.
And that's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can even that's the hardest thing to do. Stay calm. You know, if you see somebody being detained, stay calm and record. Save space and just record. Okay? If you have, we'll go later into. Actually, no. If you have a chance to speak with the person that's been detained, get their name, get a phone number, and contact whoever. Their mom, their dad, their kids, whoever. Try to get information. Also, I mean, this is not legal advice, but I also what I do want to emphasize that I think people should start carrying like emergency contact numbers. Just because
That's
for
a
the
good
same
one.
reason
That's a
that
good
like
one.
there's been videos out there of like their fruit cart just being left.
That's a good one.
There was a taco stand where they just picked everybody from the tacos and they took them. But if they would have left anything behind, like a card or anything,
That's a good one.
they would have easily, oh, you know what, this is the person's name. Let me contact whoever, and then
Yeah,
you
Omar,
know,
that's a really good one. And you know, that's a really, really good one, mijo. Yeah, I think, como dijo el Omar, no voy a decir en español para que toda la gente que entienda. Ahorita, en la situación que estamos, por favor, si pueden, y no se pueden estar encerrados en la casa porque tienen que trabajar, tienen que sacar lo que sea, tratan de tener contactos contactos, números de contactos en su cartera para si lo detienen se los pueden dar a un colega que está al lado de que no lo están arrestando, me explico, porque sí he visto videos que los colegas están pues ahí viendo cómo se llevan a sus amigos trabajadores. Entonces, si después, ¿sabes qué? Háblale a mi esposa, háblale a mi hermano, a lo que sea, a la gente, para que sepan lo que pasó, porque mucha gente no sabe lo que pasó. nomás no regresan a la casa y así se queda la cosa, viejo. And it's really hard to see that. You know what I mean? It's messed up, bro. It's really jacked up what's going on, and we have to be prepared. It's not gonna stop.
Yeah.
It's gonna continue. So we have to be prepared for this, though, because como te digo, it's not gonna stop, dude. This is gonna be for at least the next 30 days, bro.
Yeah.
So in order for us to be crying like, oh no, si se pueden mantener en la casa encerrados, ahí manténganse lo más que puedan. Yo sé que hay gente que tiene que trabajar, yo sé que hay gente que tiene que ir a trabajar y tiene que ir a comer, tiene que sacar para comer, hijo. Bueno, manténganse así y si lo menos que salgan lo mejor, pero si tienen que salir, por favor, tengan precaución donde van, where you guys going and stuff like that, because ahorita la gente lo están levantando y no regresan a la casa, viejo, y está bien cabrón ese rollo.
Yeah, yeah, it's very tough, and yeah, I mean, dude, imagine getting the news and you're like, dude, it could be very upset. It could dude, if I was to get the news that my mom, my dad are not gonna be able to make it, dude, that will piss me off, bro. Like I'll go nuts not knowing where they're at,
Yeah.
And again, that's going back to what I previously said. Like it can make you react in a inappropriate way. Now, I'm gonna be very honest with you, bro, and I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. My mind goes to a very dark place, to the point where, like, going back, I need to make sure that I'm being like level headed with my thoughts and not doing something that could have made things 10 times worse for my life.
Yeah.
One of the things I've thought of, bro, was like distracting them and running away. And I don't know why I thought about it, or because I seen like skits of people doing that, like, oh, I'm gonna pretend I'm one of them, I'm gonna run that way that I could distract them from the other people. And I was like, dude, that's like very smart. But after doing some research, running, regardless of your immigration status, I was thinking, I'm like, dude, I was actually thinking of like going to Home Depot and just standing with people there.
It's crazy that you said that, fool. It's crazy that you said that, because I was thinking about something like, how the fuck will they know?
Yeah, I was thinking. Well, obviously we're gonna get stopped, right? Because we're there with the crowd. But if we start running, like I'm like, dude, like that's a bit like, bro. First of
I
all,
think there was a guy that did that way.
okay.
A guy did that and they reported his ass.
No. I'm talking about like as a citizen.
No, I'm saying, yeah, but como they don't ask for papers, they just send his ass out.
Oh, okay. So
There's been a situation like that, fool.
So I looked it up. Obviously, that's super risky because it could be considered as resisting arrest, invading,
Yeah.
or obstruction.
Yeah.
Right? Those are 3 charges that you could be charged with, right? So you get stopped. I can easily be stopped, bro.
Yeah.
Like I said, one of the hardest things, stay calm. Ask, am I being detained?
Omar,
If not, walk away.
what about that video, viejo, on East LA where they fucking, the eyes just ram his car away?
Yeah.
They took the gun out and they told, like, they drew the guns, bro. They boxed in his car. They drew the gun away. Stay calm?
Bro, and there was kids in the back.
That's insane. And he just fucking left.
Yeah.
Now, the crazy part about this is, viejo, how do you know it's ICE? But there's nothing, bro.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
they're like unmarked vehicles. There's no badge or anything. How do you know it's like some other crazy ass fools just doing that, picking up people
Yeah.
and kidnapping them, bro? We don't know.
Yeah.
That's the
true.
crazy part about it. But I'm thinking about it, dude. How about they just start picking up people like, oh, we're ICE? Like, we don't know if they're ICE. They don't even they don't even inform. They don't even showcase themselves. Well, they just show up and they pick you up. That's kidnap, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. I was thinking. I think there was a couple of videos where like the people from the East Coast, MAGA, they were gonna come down to LA. Now imagine they come down with their weapons, thinking fake ICE agents, and all they do is they put you in the alley and they kill you.
That's crazy, bro.
Bro, that is scary, bro.
You know what? What's more crazy that out of all this chaos and anything, there hasn't been any deaths, right?
I mean that.
Which is good. Because once that happens, bro, that shit's going downhill, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
They bring the military, bringing everybody to, they're just gonna bring everybody down, bro.
Of course.
So A lot of people are saying this is a distraction for something bigger. Who knows, bro?
Who knows? Maybe I mean, bro. At this point, it's wild what the government's capable of doing. Like I've watched documentaries. Please watch the documentary called "The Biggest Hack." Okay, it's not about a. It's actually about a hack that made the case made its way to the Senate, and I'm sure you guys are familiar. It was a big story with Ambridge Analytica with Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did a lot of ads to promote a president elect, and that's how the president elect was became president. But
Yeah.
they ran this
Ads, I guess.
ads through different countries, but like they created like signs in different countries, and people started doing those signs in like music videos and stuff like that. But that's because the government established them.
Oh wow.
It's very wild. But going back to the things that you probably shouldn't
Yeah.
be doing,
Also, I
um,
think another example you wrote here as well. Giving fake names, bro.
you don't want to do that.
Do not give any fake names or documents because why? Lying to ICE or using documents is a federal crime, bro. Fraud and misrepresentation. So, what's a safe alternative, bro? What can you do to avoid all that shit? Just stay quiet.
Yeah, just stay
I
quiet.
choose to remain silent.
I want to speak
That's
to a
it.
lawyer. That's it. Another one that people might not be aware, and this is actually a federal law, you cannot give, and this is so messed up in so many levels, but you cannot give undocumented people rights on your car.
That's crazy.
If you
bro.
were to help them get away from ICE, that's 10 times worse. That's actually considered obstructing, aiding escape, or harboring. Those are the charges that you're gonna be dealing with. But even just if they stop you and for whatever reason they find out that somebody in your car is undocumented,
How would they find out?
after they book you and they run your information.
Oh, then they come and attack you. Then they get you?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I didn't know
I
that,
mean,
dude.
because at this point, some of the laws are being broken. Some of the procedures are being broken. They're just gonna go and book you, like you said. They just come pick you up without asking any questions. So, yeah, that is a federal law. And it sucks. It really sucks because that's not okay.
And yeah, maybe we're saying we're going through this with the intentions of giving you guys knowledge, right? What we've been seeing is out. How would I say it? It's not lawfully, bro.
Yeah.
We're trying to educate people from what we researched here. Like I said, we are not any lawyer consultants. We're not giving you lawyer advice. These are just things that we picked up on the internet that anybody can do, but chooses not to. Or maybe you already know, which is good. If you already know, it's even better. Promote all that, because people don't know. I didn't know half of these things until I started researching it myself. And why did I start researching myself? Because Omar helped me, but besides that, because of what's going on, bro. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like,
It is. It really is. Another example I really want to bring up is in no way, shape, or form should you ever block authorities from getting to somebody or filming too close.
oh no, filming close.
You cannot film too close.
Like, what's close?
Um,
What's considered
close
close?
to them. They want to make the argument that you're interfering with their investigation.
Yeah, because I've seen people. As a perfect example, here in Downey, this gentleman was swarmed by ICE, bro. And the guy was in his bicycle on the floor. And people started swarming around him and started recording. And they let the guy go. Le decían al muchacho, no diga nada, no diga nada, no diga nada. Manténgase callado, manténgase callado. And the gentleman was just like, obviously scared, bro.
Yeah.
Freaking scared. Everybody was swarming him, like, and these fools just posted, like, just looking around, like entitled, bro. It's crazy. Another crazy thing I have, fool, what do you feel about these? I'm sorry, just because we're gonna finish real quick.